One my mom does is the box stuffing.
That's what we did.
But it's like, you put sausage in it and stuff, and it just the greases all blend together.
See, I don't. Me and Alicia, she's like, "Should we buy a box? Does your family eat it?" I'm like, I think so. I don't eat it, because we don't.
Yeah.
She's like, all right. And then we were like, how do you make stuffing? We've never made stuffing.
I think it's pretty easy. I made it once.
We didn't throw it in the bird. We didn't stuff it up in the bird.
No, we don't ever do that. Apparently, that's questionable whether or not that's really, because you got to cook the bird the right temperature, and if you don't, then it,
a little salmon,
a little salmonella.
It never killed nobody.
Stuffing.
Oh, wait, it has killed someone.
The whole salmonella never killed nobody, right? No, between the trazodone and the salmonella, you're done for.
Welcome back to Just Weirdly Blended. I'm Jesse.
I'm Tom.
I'm Tom, and I love my city.
Jesse.
Yeah.
Did you have a nice Thanksgiving?
I had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Let me talk about Metamucil.
Metamucil makes you regular.
No, that's that commercial. We were just talking about commercials and how they suck most of the time.
Often, if you live in a medium to small market, your commercials aren't good. It's just a fact of life.
You know what? So there's this local commercial. I don't even know what the fuck it's for, to be honest. It's just the way the guy talks is really annoying. You can tell he's reading.
I know what it's for.
Like, he didn't even memorize what he's reading. He's literally probably reading.
Yeah. Like, he didn't pre-read. He didn't do any practice work. He just did.
You can tell him, look like he's going across. Thank you for choosing everybody here.
Yeah. They didn't even give him a teleprompter. They just handed him a piece of dirty paper.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, we were all in a bender last night. This is what you're going to read.
It's the best. What is the commercial for?
So we're going to give a shout out to a local car dealership, McCurley Integrity Dealership.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Bill McCurley. I don't know if he still owns it or not.
I don't know.
Anyway, we bought a car from them.
So did we.
It was good. I
like my buddy Danny works for
Okay.
McCurley.
Well, there you go. My buddy Danny works there. It must be a good place. So
yeah, that's why he's. Can he move in or something?
I think that was what was said.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, it's a stupid fucking commercial.
Yeah, I think you guys did better before when it was all exciting. Bill McCurley Dealership, please come in and buy a car.
The other one I hate was it Bill and Debbie Robinson.
Oh, that lady sells. Let me tell you, it's not just Bill's place. Yeah, I like it. Bill and Debbie Robertson Nissan.
I'm like,
guys, we have some amazing commercials. Just Google our local
and that's not even
here.
That's
Tri-Cities, Washington.
I think that's an Idaho based originally.
I think maybe, but they do live here. They're in Pasco.
I don't know. It's just annoying.
Remember I think they did it pays to cross the bridge, Bill and Robertson Nissan. And she's driving the car.
I've never
over
seen
the
that
bridge.
One.
It was really good.
Runs it off the bridge.
It was one of the best. Yeah. Yeah. They spent a fortune on CGI and
it's funny because I've been watching, there's this guy on YouTube or on Facebook that I watch, something Big Leo or something like that.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
But he does these cool little he does these little short videos. So it's like, watching TV. So it'll show him turn on the TV and then it'll cut to the TV. But it's always these over the top, terrible commercials. And his reactions are he doesn't ever talk, but he's
it's just his face.
His facial expressions are great. But
does he use real commercials?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them are.
Well, Leo, you need to just watch some of our local commercials.
They're terrible commercials. Yeah. There's one about getting a foot massage and getting barbecue at the same time.
Oh, I remember you telling me about that. Although that idea does have some traction.
The guy's
that's a good idea.
I'll even put barbecue sauce on your feet if you want. It'll just cost you extra. I was like, what the hell?
That guy's got
and then there's one commercial where the dude's he pretty much offends probably every culture,
every single person out there.
Yeah, he dressed like a Jew. Oh yeah, come in. Dressed like he had the little Chinese hat on.
He's got everything to say everyone's welcome, but it made everyone want to.
Yeah, but this commercial you got to realize too is probably 80s, maybe 90s.
See,
so
it was a different time.
Yeah,
it was in the long.
Then he even did one where he was he acts like he's a mafia guy. Oh
wow,
it's someone's mattress, Joey's mattress or something. It was.
Of course,
I'll have to
it's
show
a
you
mattress
afterward.
guy. Yeah.
It's so funny.
That's
He's like, if I can't beat the prices, I'll punch a kitty for you, or something stupid. It's so
something we can't do.
like he wanted to punch a cat. Yeah, he said he'd kick or slap a cat or something like that.
Wow.
It was great. It was a
His
terrible
marketing
commercial,
team thought it was a great idea.
just like the Vern Fonk commercials.
Oh yeah, honk for vonk or honk.
His
for
commercial,
vonk.
his kind of made me laugh though sometimes.
Well, he's Seattle based, so
Yeah.
he's a bigger market.
He is, but
You don't mess with those guys; they have real.
I think anything Northwest based is terrible.
Oh, my brother and I love Northwest Motorsports.
Tell him the bone sent you.
The bones and you. Trucks, and more trucks. We always laugh at the way he says trucks.
That was like my favorite Mariner. Anybody that know that's Jay Buhner. He used to play for the Mariners, Yankees.
I like him.
I love
just
him.
saying
His
the
commercials are terrible.
A little funny. And if you go into Northwest Motorsports, they have a 90s cardboard cutout of Buhner and his wife.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they're in like Mariners jerseys, and she's like hugging him with big old bling on her fingers. And,
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
and then he
Big
just
old
blurts
cleavage
out,
hanging out.
trucks. And,
Oh, God. You walk by.
he doesn't actually.
Oh,
but but he
walked
does
by.
stare you down the whole time you're signing the paperwork. You're like, oh.
He's like, no, sign your life away.
So we
please.
bought from them. We bought from a Curly. We bought.
See, we haven't.
Ours.
I haven't gone there yet, but I think I walked in there once.
They have good inventory. It's used stuff. It's not new, but although we didn't buy new from a Curly anyway. But
No, we didn't. I don't.
for
I
all
think-
of those of you out there who give a shit what
So
cars I buy.
awesome. I
Yeah.
bought my 1997 Ford Focus. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
I hate
Yes.
Ford. But no,
I'm not a Ford guy either,
Thanksgiving's over. Hope you guys all had a fucking safe and an
Yeah.
uneventful Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
'Cause it should be
but I
uneventful.
hope everyone was happy, healthy,
was
enjoyed
fun.
it.
My family came over. They hung out for a little bit. My mom was there
Mhm.
somewhat. She slept a little bit for
Your
the
mom
whole
was
time.
there in spirit,
She was
even
there
though
in
her
spirit.
body was present.
In the name of Jesus. She was there for a minute. Speaking of which, she lost her glasses. Gotta find them.
I don't think your mom had a clue that Blanca and I were there.
My mom didn't have a clue I was there.
I know. I gathered that when she came
was-
out from the basement, you're like trying to talk with her, and she had no clue.
She didn't want to talk. I'm like, okay, nice talking to you, mom.
I just don't think she
It was a
knew
good conversation. I said, it's good having gone.
that,
No, she was on meds, so she was a little looped out.
she had a
She was-
fantastic Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Yeah, she fell asleep. Well, traveling does that for people.
Yeah, that's true.
I
Turkey,
suppose.
they say turkey. has-
What does it have? Not aphrodisiac.
Everyone's super horny after the Thanksgiving meal. It's very awkward.
What is it?
Uh,
Triazidone or some shit like that.
trazodone.
It's got some kind of chemical to get you sleepy.
Maybe it is trazodone. I don't know. It does have a chemical compound in it that apparently makes you sleepy. 'Cause isn't it
Triglycerides.
hard for your body to break down or something? So I don't know.
I didn't get tired.
No,
I didn't really like pig out, but like,
I did pretty good, but I ate what I wanted this time. So
well, yeah, I did. I don't know.
Well, we
turkey,
went to-
turkey doesn't like do that to me either.
Yeah.
I feel safe eating turkey
well, right. It's healthy. It's healthy meat.
because I mean, Thanksgiving's not that unhealthy. Then.
No, just a lot of fat content, but really, I mean,
Mac and cheese. I guess that's bad for you.
well,
Everything's bad for you nowadays. Deep fried turkey's probably not the best for you.
I mean, really, like my doctor would say was the grains because I love stuffing, and stuffing's full of breadcrumbs.
Yeah, I'm not a stuffing guy.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it so much.
My aunt on my uncle's side, and this is not the reason I don't love stuffing, but this was one of the reasons that I really hate stuffing.
I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm saying I fucking hate it.
I know.
It's the worst.
No, I've eaten stuffing after, but it's just not my thing. But I'll eat it. But no, she made stuffing homemade. Tell me why this was cut pieces of bread dipped in water. That's what it was. It was just bread. It was just the most soggy bread you ever
See,
stuck in your
there's
mouth.
got to
It
be
was,
the right ratio. Like the bread,
there was no
can't
flavor or
overwhelm.
nothing. It was
Oh, no.
terrible.
So the one my mom does is the box stuffing,
That's what we did.
but it's like you put sausage in it and stuff, and it just the greases all blend together.
See, I don't. And me and Alicia, she's like, "Should we buy a box? Does your family eat it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think so. I don't eat it, like because we don't."
Yeah,
She's like, "All right," and then we were like, "How do you make stuffing?" We've never made
I
stuff.
think it's pretty
I
easy.
got-
I made it once.
We didn't throw it in the bird. We didn't stuff it up in the bird.
No, we don't ever do that. Apparently, that's questionable whether or not that's really because you got to cook the bird the right temperature, and if you
Yeah.
don't, then it,
A little salmon.
a little salmonella.
It never killed
in the
nobody.
stuffing.
Oh, wait, it has killed someone.
The whole salmonella never killed nobody, right? No, between the trazodone and the salmonella, you're done for.
You're done. You're taking that long dirt nap.
Yeah, and now we're in that period of time. This is like one of my favorite times of year because I like the holidays.
I like the holidays.
That like Thanksgiving to Christmas time. Such a special time of year.
I know. Like even for my work, it's like work's a little shorter.
Mm.
You know,
Slows down
work's
a bit.
little less meaningful.
I give a shit about work.
No, I do like this time of year. It's I don't know. It's nice. It feels good. I love the Christmas.
The lights are going up.
Yeah.
It does. It feels like there's like this other piece in the world that's coming out.
Yeah,
Just don't look at news out of
Christmas
Ukraine.
feels peaceful to me.
Yeah, right.
It does.
Why?
I don't know why.
Why?
It's
Why
so
would it be-
stressful as shit, though.
Yeah,
It could be such a stressful time of year. Like we had talked about towards the end of the podcast, it's like mentally and
right.
everything. It can just be such a drain.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, we just talked about Thanksgiving is a time that really points out to people if you're missing something in your
Yeah.
life. Christmas, I think, might be even worse.
Yeah,
And
for
you have
sure.
all these weeks building up to it. And, like I know for me, I have great memories from childhood.
Yeah.
And if there's ever been a year where I was in a position where I thought maybe I was going to miss out on part of it or something wasn't going to go right, it could drop me into like just a bummed out mode.
Mopey and shit.
I was being a whiny little bitch about it. Fuck my life. It's
So-
worst. This is awful.
He's all flipping
Throw
cups.
my hat on the ground.
Like
Throw
kick
my
some
little-
dirt.
For those
So
of you
what-
listening, I was being very dramatic with my
He was
arms.
being super dramatic. He put him on his hips and everything. He's like, no.
I'm not doing this.
No,
Anyway.
Christmas.
Yeah.
That's I was thinking about like the whole traditions thing
Mhm.
from the last time we talked.
Mhm.
Like I was like, I don't know what traditions we had growing up because I can't really think of any. But I remember Christmas we always made happen.
Mhm.
Like even if we didn't have a tree, I remember me and my brother decorated our poinsettia plant.
Mhm.
We put lights on it and then hung up one little bulb.
So you really have more memories with your siblings.
Yeah.
Making it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like Christmas was always fun in that sense, obviously. And my mom would do what she could to get us
Mhm.
presents. And it's not about presents, but as a kid, you want presents.
For kids, it really is. For
It is.
adults, it's more just, I don't know, it's just a feeling.
Yeah.
If it's done right.
Yeah. And so for me, I'm like, man, I love it.
Mhm.
So
Well, and that's like, so I'm way over the top with traditions. Like the day after Thanksgiving, I put up the lights and I set up, all the decorations.
Yeah.
That's like my thing. Cause
did you already do all that?
Yeah. I haven't decorated the tree yet because I'd let the kids help if they want to. I don't know.
Yeah.
if
We
William's gonna
usually
be into
buy
it, but-
so that's our tradition is we buy a new tree. We buy like not a new tree, but we buy a tree.
like a real life tree.
Like a real tree. Yeah.
Right.
Although we did start speaking about maybe buying a fake tree,
Mm-hmm.
but then it's like, wow, I gotta store this motherfucker.
I mean,
I
you
gotta
have
use
to
the one-
store it, but man, it's so much cheaper.
Over the time.
I mean, for 2
Over time,
years
yeah.
of trees, you buy a fake tree once, and
yeah.
it's pre-lit.
Or if you get the right tree. What we seen a couple trees that we actually like that were fake because we like a full tree that looks full.
Right. They're getting a lot better.
Yeah. But it was like fucking $300.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, when we moved into this house, that entryway has a taller ceiling. I think it's like a 14-foot ceiling or something. So we're like, we would need to get like a 12-foot tree, like $1,000. Nah, we just have our little 8-foot tree.
So what you do is you get 2 6-foot trees
Mm-hmm.
and then you weld them together.
And then you make it just look like each tier is like one of those drawn trees, right? Yeah. What could go wrong?
Oh, can go wrong. Just
What
don't
could go wrong?
touch it. It might fall over.
Might get electrocuted. And I got.
But now Christmas, I can see how it could be more. It could be a little worse.
Well, I think you're bombarded with imagery of like happy people, and it's one of those times like we talk a lot about social media making people kind of feel shitty about.
Do you think
their
it's like a
lives.
false narrative? Like it's a false
Well, they're selling
It's false
the idea of
of what
joy.
it could
And I mean,
be.
you think about marketing, you know,
Yeah.
you're trying to convince somebody that they have a need, and this is how you get that.
Yeah.
Right. So Christmas is all about presents and family and getting together and how great it is to get people to buy the meal and to buy the presents and
Yeah.
to buy all the stuff. Obviously, that's not the real meaning of Christmas, but for most of us, that's how we celebrate it.
Yeah.
If you don't have a family, if you're in a position where for the first time, you know, you don't live near the family you grew up with and your spouse and you are breaking up.
Yeah. Or you lost someone.
a kid. I mean,
lost
like
a
there's
wife
horrible
or
things that can
husband.
happen. The holidays, everywhere you look, you're going to be bombarded with imagery of these happy people who are, you know, the product is that joy.
Yeah.
And you get it by buying these things. If you have nowhere to put that, I would imagine it just makes you feel that much
Like,
worse.
fuck Christmas this time of year.
Bah, humbug.
Yeah, I could see how I would probably be that way. I would like
Yeah.
if I didn't have my family or I didn't have anything. It's like,
Mhm.
it's just another day to me.
Right.
And I think sometimes some people wrap it up like that too. I mean,
Yeah.
oh, it's just another act tough.
Right.
When in reality, it's
It's hard.
nice to be around like your loved ones.
Well,
in
you
that
want to
time of
be
year.
affirmed as a human being that
Yeah.
you're enough and all this. And
Yeah.
I think one of the metrics we use is like, you know, do we have what people would see as a successful life? And part of that is a family and all this stuff,
Yeah.
right? Now, some people don't fall into that category, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But for many people, that is an issue of their validation to the world, that they, you know, can have somebody that loves them and that they have maybe kids that love
Which
them,
I can
that kind of
see,
thing.
you know.
So if you went through a hard patch, it would be a really difficult time. I know, at least from my experience, I would be awful during the holidays if things weren't
Oh yeah,
going well.
I'd be a loner.
Yeah.
If I didn't have like anybody, I'd probably be a loner. Just like,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't care. I don't care.
Well, and, you know, again,
And
the
just get
substance
bitter.
abuse thing.
Yeah.
And if you have a substance abuse problem, in my family, we had people, not in my immediate family growing up, but definitely the generation before, I heard stories of people that very much struggled with that.
Mm.
And we lost a great uncle apparently on, I think it was on Thanksgiving.
God, that'd be terrible.
Yeah, it was
To
a bad
lose like
story.
someone like a family member on like a holiday.
Well, and if the story is correct, he killed himself.
Yeah.
And it's just a sad thing to think about that it was an emotional thing for that person, that
well,
the feelings were overwhelming. And
yeah, I was
you know,
gonna
it's
say
like,
you probably get a lot of these, you know, like it's something you like kind of repress for so long throughout the year, and then all of a sudden it gets closer and closer and closer, and then all of a sudden it's just like
right.
all that repressed feelings you have throughout that year just kind of like spew out
Right.
when it becomes like the holiday season.
Right.
So
And it's right there in your face. You can't ignore
you
it.
can't ignore it. You
You
can't.
know.
There's no way around it unless you sleep
Right.
or whatever. You know,
Right.
drown yourself in drugs, alcohol, whatever.
But that's the sad thing is
You
that
know, that's
your
what ends up
inhibitions are
happening.
lowered.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to hurt yourself, then it makes it a little easier to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's, I mean, I don't know. My hope for this holiday season is, I guess, really around that. It's like if you're struggling, hopefully there's something out there that can help you
Yeah.
through, because it is, I mean, it's one part of the year. It's a big part of the year and it's hard to ignore, but
Well, and if you have a family, and this is me coming from like how we used to get adopted as a family because my mom couldn't always afford to get us gifts, but
right.
so we'd have like those Angie trees. I don't know what they're called. But we would get, this guy would come over sometimes dressed as Santa.
Mm-hmm.
It's Santa Claus, and they'd bring us like a family like adopted our family, so like
Yeah.
we'd get these we'd got random gifts, but it was like kind of cool. We were excited.
Right.
But I just remember, you know, there's things like that out there for families who are maybe struggling where, you know, oh, my kids, you know, because you want to give your kids things.
Right.
I understand that now, being a parent, you know, I want to give my kids
Right. Sometimes
good
it's
Christmas.
not.
And there's
an
been
option.
Christmases, and, you know, thankfully now this part of time of my life, like I'm a little better
Right.
financially. But like before, it was hard to give the
Just
kids what they
scraping
wanted.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, cause you're like, oh, you know, there was times I was like doing side hustles, doing stuff here just to get a couple extra bucks so I could,
Right.
get my family something. Cause I like to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, for families out there is help. So I don't
Right.
want anybody to ever think they can't do it. And
Mhm.
it's, don't ever think it's demeaning either.
Right.
I think a lot of people have that issue where they think it's like a demeaning thing. Like it's,
Well, some people, they look at it as like a handout. And I don't take handouts or whatever. It's like, well,
some people actually want it. Like I want to do that
because I struggle with that. Like we've typically done pretty well this year. We're not. This is the first year where we have plenty to get by. But that's it. I mean, we had a few. I've talked about it before. We've had a few things pop up this year that haven't traditionally popped up.
Yeah,
and it's kind of wiped things out. So we're at the point now where it's like you do what you can, and you accept what you can. But we've typically done that. We've bought gifts for another family because it does feel good to help somebody that doesn't have that. And you hear stories of why they're in the position they're in, and it's easy to judge people.
Yeah.
And to think that they're just lazy or they don't. But, if you really get to know people, usually there's something that's happened that makes a hole big enough that it's hard to just, you don't just pop yourself out of it.
No.
So it's nice to help other people. This year we're not.
Well,
but it's,
but I mean, sometimes if you don't have that,
right.
You're unable to, my issue is like, I always want to find something that's like going to actually help more the people than the cause,
right?
You know what I mean,
right?
Like art's not. I want what I'm doing to go to the people. My proceeds go to that,
right?
Not.
Well, that's what's not. Yeah,
not to this person. You know what I mean? Sometimes
you don't want to just give a
sometimes
check
you
to an
donate,
organization. Yeah,
because they'd be like, "Well, we keep 95%."
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Right. I don't want.
We've done. I forget what it's called, but whatever it is, where you actually get a list.
Yeah, see, I want to get something. We did that last year. I want to say Alicia, through her work, was able to do that. So we were able to do that. We got a list of what these kids would like.
Yep. Yeah, we got a bike
really cool.
for a little kid one year, and the brother didn't know what he wanted. He wanted just clothes, and so I think we got him something that we thought would be cool. It was something that I don't think he thought he would get, and we got it for him. And it feels really good when you do have the means to do that for somebody, and you get something that it's like I would never get a list and then buy some kid some chintzy piece of crap that they probably either mom and dad could splurge and get them that anyway, or it's just, I mean, you might as well get the kid something that's really gonna like shock them, and I don't know. I
remember when we would get like the gifts, we'd get them, and you're excited because there's these presents, and I remember I think one year, like I don't remember how. That's the only thing I think. I do not remember how we went about and gave this family like our wish list, I guess. And I don't know if there was even a wish list. I don't know any of those details. I just know I got a tennis racket and I don't play tennis. Like, I don't know, and it's not something I would have probably asked for, but it was something I was just like pretty grateful for it. I was pretty excited, Like,
I guess I'm going to play tennis.
I liked it, and I used it to hit rocks and do stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
I was killing rats with it left and right.
But it was cool. Like, we appreciated,
regardless of what it was.
Yeah, we appreciated the gifts, and just that's something that always really stuck with me growing up and seeing like the struggles I grew up with. And thinking, I want to give that back because there was a family out there that like did that for us. Like, I would love to, give that back. And so it was nice because last year was like the first year we were finally able to do that, to do something in that aspect. And, it's a good feeling. It really is, to help other families out. And, so like I said, there's help out there for families and stuff if you know where to look, I guess.
Right.
I think I need to do my research actually so I can give that info out too. You know what I mean?
Right.
That way we can say, hey, check out this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know locally we always have like the coat donations during this time of year. So if you have, old coats that your kids don't fit in, you can always drop those off. That helps because it's
the mission.
Yeah, the mission, you can donate directly to the mission, which directly helps adults. And children. But yeah.
That's what we're doing. We cleaned out my closet. Or we as in my wife. She did that. But we've been like decluttering, right? And so we have like a lot of clothes now that we're getting rid of. And so that's what we're going to do is donate them to the mission or something.
Nice.
somewhere where, because Goodwill, I mean, it's easy to drop off, but they sell that shit, you know.
Well, right. I mean, I'm not going to knock on them, but
I'm not gonna knock it on, but I mean,
Right.
they still flip a profit.
and it's more of a national thing. It's not like just local,
Yeah.
wthe mission is directly helping people.
Yeah, see, that's
here.
where I'd rather do like a
Right.
local thing or
And
something that's
obviously
gonna
they're not
help.
selling the coats through the mission. People come in, they need a coat, they get a coat.
Yeah.
But
Like
yeah.
Goodwill, you go to that coat you could have gave someone for free. They're selling for $14. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Well, we do locally. There's like the Toys for Tots,
Yeah,
and I forget exactly how that one works, but I think you just donate things and then they
for tater tots.
yeah tater tots.
No, Toys for Tots is cool.
And so there's that, and then I mean through your employers often, and that's
Yeah.
kind of what Alicia had, and I think that's how we got it was Blanca's work.
Yeah,
had
they have
some
like a
list.
tree, a giving tree, or
Right.
something.
I forget what that organization's called, but it's prevalent in communities.
Yeah, it is. It's everywhere.
It's hard to miss. So yeah, if you can help, and
If you can't, you can't.
and for those that are struggling, just know that every stage of life has an end, and at some point it's going to get better.
The cliche thing people say is there's like at every storm there's the calming comes, and
Yeah, and at some point in life, like
there's a light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak.
Right.
Which it is true.
And if
Sometimes
life
it takes
is
a
great,
while. Sometimes that tunnel's long as shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there are obstacles towards getting through
and there's
it.
things coming at you.
But if you just keep moving, one
That's
step
it.
in
That's
front of
what
the
it
other,
is,
like
you
don't
know?
give up. And if things are going great, the floor is going to fall out from under you at some point. It does to everybody, and you just keep moving and get through it. And it's easy to say, it's difficult to do, but
That's what it is too. It's all mental.
It's a mental game. Yeah,
It is.
I mean, yeah. So.
It's definitely a mental struggle to like pull yourself out of sometimes.
Mhm. And if true depression sets in, that's a whole nother
Yeah,
thing.
I always wondered how my mom was handling
Mhm.
certain things in our life,
Right.
because she was working, trying to pay bills, and then I think at one point she would always get sick, and so that's where I was like, was she just getting
overwhelmed,
overwhelmed, and so
emotionally,
she was just like shutting down.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of shit we were going through.
Yeah.
Growing up, that
Mhm.
my mom was trying to work, but she's also dealing with
Right.
an ex-husband now that just went to prison.
A lot of emotional stress, and trauma.
dealing with 3 kids on her own now. What she was already dealing with 3 kids on her own, but
Right.
now I got to provide more, and there's just so much stuff stacked up. I always wondered mentally where my mom was, because I know she probably turned to drugs here and there and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So
Well,
I always wondered.
Generally, it seems like I believe I've heard this. Again, I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me. But
Tom is the doctor in this
But
relationship.
for this purpose, I'm going to be a doctor now.
I'm just the guy that goes,
They say like, depression can cause your immune system to
I believe it.
deplete, right, and allow disease then to take in, and like it's amazing, like the mind body connection. I'm not a believer in like this fantastical stuff of all those crazy thoughts of your body could do it if you just believe you could fly in the air, that kind of stuff. But there is
Which you
definitely
can't. Disclaimer.
you cannot fly. So if you think you can, get off the drugs and just know you cannot fly. But
anyway.
it's like the way that our minds and our bodies connect, and the things that you can control if you know the mechanisms and how to do it. Like,
Well,
it's crazy.
your mind's powerful as fuck.
It is powerful, and your body's powerful. And there's
Like if you start believing something enough,
Mhm.
if you do it enough and over, like your mind will start
Right.
believing that crap.
See, and that's where like I do believe in things like karma, and I
Mhm.
don't believe in it like this mystical sense. It's just relationships. I mean, it's just the way life works.
Yeah.
If you're projecting to the world negativity,
You're
you're
gonna-
going to get negativity.
Yeah.
If your mindset is on the negative,
It's
that's
always going
all it's going to come to you.
to be. Yeah.
Whereas if you focus on the positive, that's where your energy is going, and the visualizing of something, it's much more likely to happen if that's
Yeah. 'Cause
where your
what do they
energy's
call
going.
that? Like manifesting? Pretty much manifest.
Yeah,
or-
positive. I don't know.
I don't know.
Some kind of manifestation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Manifest destiny or something like that.
Yeah, great stuff. Just great.
But no, it is funny though, because my coach, when I was in cross country, and I don't know if I've told this story, but my coach, Mr. Parker, one time, like I was sick, he goes, it's all in It's in your head.
Right.
Now go run.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be fine. And so I went running. It was probably in my head
12 times, but
I was fine afterwards. Yeah.
well, and I mean,
but like, to
obviously,
this day, I still will say that, like, no, you're not sick. Just if you believe enough that you ain't sick, you won't be sick.
Yeah, and to a point,
until you are fucking
if
sick.
you have HIV or cancer or something, that may not work. But
I know.
No, I mean, there's obviously like physical limits to anyone, but
placebo effect really can mess with you. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is like if your attitude is like running, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're running and you have kind of like I'm running more now than I have, and when you first start, your goal is to get to this spot. And if the entire time you're thinking, I know I can't get there, I know I can't get there, I know I can't get there, then your whole mindset is ready to give up. Because what are you losing? I already knew I couldn't get there.
Yeah.
Whereas if you say, I can get there, I can get there, I can get there, one more foot, one more foot, one more foot.
That's what it is.
And you
one
break
more foot
it down
in front of the other.
And like I'll even say to myself, like, could you hit a golf ball there? Yeah. I'm not a great golfer. So okay, I can get there then. And like you break it into these smaller steps and then it hurts, but you can get there because your brain didn't get in your way. And it's just interesting.
Well, just like life, just it's little steps.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Right.
It's always going to be a little step here and there.
Right. You need to know the big picture, but you have to focus on the steps.
I think some people, and I'm guilty of this, I'll see the big picture and I'm already trying to get there. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going through the process of these other little steps.
Because it overwhelms you.
I'm trying to, and then all of a sudden, by the time I'm like deep into this, it's just like, well, fuck, I just quit.
Right.
Like you feel that way anyway.
And motivation only comes when you start to see little steps met and overcome and challenges. But there's many challenges along the way, and you really do need that background to say, I'm already this far. Yeah. Like if I stop now, all that was for nothing.
Exactly.
So, and just mentally, I think, for me, I'm not a mentally tough person. I haven't been.
Yeah.
And I, over summer, we've talked a lot about the health aspect of things. And, I got news that my body was reacting poorly to my life choices and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So started going on a health kick. And it's like just the mental side of that and doing things that one time I never in a million years would have thought that I would do.
Yeah.
It's like, it does make you feel good in that sense of the strength that you do have and what you can do.
Well, you're getting accomplished and you're making you're doing a goal and it's like feels good.
Because like I hate not being able to do something. I would get so angry at the idea of really exercising because when your body gets to that point that it's not very strong anymore and all that feeling that you can't do it just makes me enraged.
Yeah.
But it's like when you just accept that and you start with one thing, it's like, it's just amazing how then it gets easy as time goes on because you've gotten somewhere, things have changed and you can get more and more out of yourself.
And I could see that because my wife we went for a hike yesterday and she was not thrilled about going for a hike, but she knew I got to go or I'm going to just always make an excuse.
Right.
And that's what she had told me after
we went. Yeah. I mean,
so she wasn't angry at anybody particular. She was just angry at the fact I gotta go fucking exercise. I don't want to go do this. And then when we were done, she was feeling great. And like even when we got home, she felt good.
Yeah.
And then she'll be a little sore, but it's like that.
But you feel like you've accomplished something too. I mean, it's like
that's what it is.
I didn't want to do it, and now I've done it. And you get that ball rolling, and you can just kind of keep it going. If you stop, it's hard.
Okay.
But I don't know. Like I'm really like yesterday. I felt really happy with where I'm at.
Yeah.
Just like that core hole in you. It probably won't be full forever, but at least in that moment or in this moment, it's like I feel whole. I feel like I'm where I want to be, and I haven't reached any real goal or anything. It's just to be on the right path. And
you kind of have though, because. You went to the doctor and you got the health reports back good.
And I was like in bad shape. I look at pictures of me now. I'm like, wow. I didn't realize how much. I mean, I did. Like intellectually, I knew where my body was.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say I was in bad shape, like I was in bad shape. I did not exercise. I ate whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. It was not good. and I could feel that it wasn't good. But yeah, I mean, it's my goal as far as being healthy, I'm there. Like, and seriously, if I can do it, anybody can do it. My mental state was so negative at that point. As much as I would come on the podcast and talk like I was some...
But I think that's the point of our podcast too, though.
That's life. Like, I want to be honest with people.
We're transparent to a point, like...
The goal is to, when I die, I want to be the best person I could have been.
Yeah.
And regardless of mistakes or, where I failed in life or whatever, like I was thinking about this yesterday, like who I was, that's who I was at that point in time. That was the authentic self then. Who I am today is who I authentically am today. And who I am tomorrow may be different, but that person's going to be
the core person of you is there.
The person is there. And like you should always, any person, to be really happy, I think you do have to look through your life and find, like, I'm a stewer. I stew on things.
Yeah.
And if I'm not doing something I feel like I should be doing, I have a ton of mental energy that goes there while I'm not doing anything to accomplish it. I just worry about it.
Yeah. I get you.
And I find that the more, like with my health goals, like the more I'm hitting those health goals, the more energy I feel because I'm not worrying about it. It's taken care of.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know. I just really, if I can get anybody to feel like believe in themselves, I am a case study in someone that has very low motivation to actually change something.
Yeah.
So if I can get my ass up and turn things around, I think almost anybody can.
Yeah, no, I believe it.
So I don't know.
I know, because you're going hard too. Like,
trying to.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's incremental.
I've slowed down on my walking and my stuff, and you seem to still be going pretty strong. Like, walking multiple times a week or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy it. Like, I legitimately enjoy it now. Whereas at one time, like, I've always liked the cardio side of things. I've always liked going for long walks and stuff. I just enjoy being out there like that. But, it was a point, like, I didn't make any time for it because I also enjoy just sitting down, eating chips and watching TV.
Yeah.
Like, but it's like one choice or the other.
Yeah.
One choice was healthy, one wasn't. So that was the initial phase, was just getting into the routines of it, because then once the habit's there, you can kind of rely on that habit. But like lifting, I hated lifting because it made me feel weak and all that, and all the negative chatter in your own brain.
Yeah.
So like, I'm still not where I want to be with lifting. I don't think I'm really lifting the way I should be lifting, but like, I'm okay with that. I'm on that path of getting where I need to be. I'm now paying attention to like reps and things, which I did not care about at all at the beginning. It's like that step by step. And this is over the course of 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm okay with not being, having all of it at once.
Yeah.
Well, that's not practical. I mean, that's
not realistic.
So it's just kind of, and I'm learning more about my body and how bodies work, and like filtering through, like, you think this is how it works, and then no, there's this piece of information that says that. It's like knowing my body, understanding what's happening on top of everything else is kind of a nice thing, caring about it. Whereas I used to just not care. I had some blinder on that, I'm probably not like that. I'm probably going to be fine. As I'm
going to be fine for the rest of my life.
Physically falling apart. But
I know. I need to get back into running and stuff, but I get sidetracked with stuff around the house. And so,
and this is a time of year like we talked about.
Which one do I want to do? Because it's going to be one or the other. I can't do both.
Right.
Right. I mean, I guess I could, but then I'm like ignoring other things in life.
Right. And you do have to be careful.
And I don't want to get up at fucking 3 a.m. to make everything happen.
I cannot wake up early.
I'm just going to be honest.
Well, and sleep is important. Like, if you start cutting back on sleep, you're going to hurt yourself that way too. So
sleep's for the weak.
Who needs to sleep?
I don't sleep anyway, so it's all good. I get 5 hours. That's it.
Yeah.
That's usually about it. 5-6 hours, and that's it.
I'm usually, I think, around 6-7. Yeah.
That's about it.
But I don't ignore it. If I need to sleep, I sleep. And then
I try.
But it is habits. And I hate those nights where you can't get into a deep sleep.
I don't deep sleep ever.
Yeah.
Unless I'm not even when I drink. Even if I drink and I get like shit faced, when I get shit faced, I get up. I could pass out at, we'll say 11 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
I will wake up at 3-4 in the morning.
Well, real medical
almost
doctors out there
always.
can probably attest to this. I have heard that when you drink, you don't ever really hit that true REM sleep.
Oh, I believe it.
So I think
I don't need a medical doctor.
You're passed out, but you're not really getting good, healthy
Oh,
sleep.
dude, I wake up and make your heart's beating really quick. It sucks, man.
Yeah.
It sucks. I'm glad I don't do that no more.
Right.
I hated that. I hated that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of those feelings that like I would hold on to afterwards after I was like trying to quit drinking as much.
Right.
It's like, nah, because you like to sleep. Because I like to sleep, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, right.
I just don't sleep well.
Uh-huh.
And that definitely did not help.
Right. Yeah. But it's like, all these
Whatever.
little things are like little puzzle pieces in your life. And you start, just start with the corner, right? Like the easiest piece to find and start building off of that. And you hear like people that have made it, whatever goals they've had, it's all the same thing. I broke it down and I built on it. And when you feel like you've gotten to a certain point, you don't want to quit anymore because it's like, A, you have a habit now. So you're already in that mind space to just do it. And then you also know that you have something to lose. It's so much more motivating when you get to a point where you see some results than when you're looking at this mountain ahead of you of all the things you have to do.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get overwhelmed and feel like, what's the point?
Yeah, for sure.
Or at least to put it off. I think a lot of people are well intended, like tomorrow, I'll start tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what it is, though. It's always like,
so
you know
hard.
what? It's the weekend. I'm going to start Monday.
Right. But then
always
by
Monday.
the time Monday comes around, you want the piece of cake, and it's like, well, I'll start tomorrow. There's always a
and
reason.
that part's hard still. Like,
and I don't have an answer for it because honestly, if I didn't get afraid because of test results and stuff, I don't think I would have had the motivation to do it.
yeah.
So I don't know what to tell people in that case. Like
I think that's
but
usually most of the time is something traumatic will have to happen where it's going to be like, oh shit,
and it's personal
real.
and it's you. So
because it's like you just said, it's easy for you to say that,
right,
and then but the action behind it is like the harder part because it's
right
for you. Obviously, there was that action because it was affecting you,
right?
And
my brain took it as like, oh my god,
I'm gonna die tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Which I knew wasn't the case, but when
that's
you hear
where we
that
get back to like your brain, really is that strong,
right?
Where it's like, no, I better do this because you start believing like, oh, at least for me, I can be I'm a worry wart.
Me too. Yeah.
I'll start thinking I'm like that same thing. Oh shit, I feel a bit pain. I'm about to die of a heart attack. Or something stupid.
It goes to the worst.
Do you smell popcorn or whatever? You smell, burnt
toast.
Yeah.
Right.
And then be like, I smell burnt toast. And like,
no,
I actually burnt toast.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like I'm in a good place right now. Like I think about work. I used to stress a lot about work, proving myself, feeling like I feel like I've got work. I still have things to learn. I want to be better and better and better. That's life. Normal. You should want that. But I feel like a good grounding in my professional life. I feel a good grounding now with my health, my family. I mean, there's always things to work on, but it's like those priorities.
I feel good about my health, and that's probably it.
Yeah.
Work, nope. I need to get there. I'm not there yet. I don't think I'll ever be there with my job now, but
I got
eventually.
Yeah. But you talked about before, choosing to find the things that are good at work. And so the positive
boss makes it very hard.
Yeah.
Makes it very hard to really like.
No, it is when you don't get positive affirmations that you're doing a good job. I know for me, when I've been in positions where I felt like a boss didn't approve or something, I take it very internally like,
I don't take it well.
I mean, I need affirmation.
On the outside, I look like I'm taking it just fine, but really the inside, I'm like,
it's just eating it alive.
Fucking piece of shit.
I don't really turn it on them. I turn it on myself.
No, that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling myself. I'm a piece of shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, God damn it.
And that's what it's like. I need to hear like you did really good here. So let's now work on this. Like I have to have it where there's something good.
No, like
I'll shit talk myself.
I get more negative. The negative things because that's they're good at that, and so like trying to be positive it's better now, but like before it was like, ugh.
Well, if you already feel like mentally drained, there's just not a lot to pull from to get.
Oh yeah, no, I'm trying, but I want to be in that place,
right?
But I ain't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not there yet. I'm not mentally.
Well, that's important though too. The honesty of where you're at, checking in with yourself, I think, is equally important.
That's why I took the last week off. I didn't even go anywhere. I just didn't want to be at work, and I just wanted to get focused on my cabinets, which I didn't even get to fucking do that.
Well,
I got some of it done. Some of it, but not
what you want.
In my mind, there's things I wanted to get done that I didn't, and I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean?
You set a goal and didn't reach it.
Yeah, and at least because I was like not in a good. I was not happy like a few days, like Monday or Tuesday, because I was just like, this is stupid. Why am I wasting my time?
Right.
If I can't even get what I want done, there's no point for me to be home.
Mm-hmm.
There's no point. So fuck it. I'm just gonna go back to work. Like I'm losing money.
All right.
Even though I'm not losing money because I'm paid time off, but I'm losing paid time off now that can build up for something else.
Right.
And so Alicia's like, no, but you're getting other things done. It's not just because it's that one thing. It's not like you haven't accomplished things throughout the day.
Right.
Which she was right. Like I had done a lot throughout the day. So I had to like mentally change that process to like, okay, maybe there's more to this. Mm-hmm. That's okay. So I'm trying to like, so that's where for me, I ended up going from this place of negativity, like mentally, like, fuck, this is stupid. I'm going to have all this work to catch up on. It's like stupid for me to take time off to like, okay, she's right. I made accomplishments. We'll just let that go. And then, so after that, like we had that conversation, like I started like, okay, here we go. Now I start like, there was a day where I kind of just didn't feel rushed. And I actually did. I just kind of like cruised around. I went to Lowe's. I did some just random shit.
Yeah.
Instead of feeling like I have to get this thing done. Cause that's how I feel, like mentally sometimes it's like, I got to get done. I
feel that too.
Like I'm in a rush all the time and I don't know why I'm in the rush, but I'm in this rush. There's there's not like a time frame for anything. It's just in my head. I'm like,
yep,
I got all this to do, blah, blah, blah.
I do the same exact thing. And I have a fairly rigid mind where if I set that this needs to be happening now, it's really hard for my brain to break that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the standard and this is where I'm at. Yeah, and that causes anxiety because it's like now I'm stewing about what I'm not getting done. It's a cycle.
That's where I was. And I was like just frustrated.
But I
was not happy.
Point, like that's my personality type. There's a part of it I'm probably not going to be able to change, but I do need to. That is an area I still need to work on, is finding where I can change that, or like maybe ways to talk to myself to say, okay, does that have to be done? I need to talk myself through it better. But my go-to is instant stress and frustration.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are that way.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because it then spills over into everything. Then I'll generalize it with things like, everything's just a piece of shit anyway. Like, fuck the whole thing.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
But that's
I'm a shitty dad too. Like on top of it, like
and
I'm
then
this
it just
terrible
rolls
parent.
into just this general feeling, and that's like the ego part, right? Like, I'm shit. I fucking suck. Like,
yeah. You start really just killing yourself inside your head, like just beating yourself up,
right?
And constantly.
It's just funny the way that works. But it's fairly universal.
Over dramatic for sure.
Yeah. As we're flipping out and we're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Because I'll do that. I'll just be like, like, obviously I'm not doing it in front of the kids or anybody like that. It's just more in my head. I'm just like, God damn it, son of a bit, And my wife's very good at knowing when I'm in that mental state sometimes.
Yeah.
She'll see like, you okay? Like, and then, she's good, like, where she'll help me vent. Mm-hmm. She vented. And sometimes, your wife can do things that upset you.
Not help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suck it up, or whatever. And it's like, I thought you said I could talk about this.
Right.
Now I'm bitching. Blah, she doesn't do that.
It happens.
But it happens. There's times where, you're just like, obviously you can really honestly be bitching. Right. But sometimes.
Well, sometimes you need to, though.
So I mean. And this is kind of something I was going to bring up. Like, why do people come into your lives?
Mm-hmm.
I've always wondered that because, well, I didn't always wonder, but so why do people come in your lives? It's, it's something because you always have these like short-lived moments. Mm-hmm. Like I had really good friends for this short moment in life.
Mhm.
Why were they there? Right.
That got you through something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so with that, I don't know where I was going with this.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? This is a lost cause.
no, I don't think so. Because
I had something there, but no, I was just wondering, like, there's, things come into your life and then they go and then they come and they go. Like, I guess like the ebb and flow thing you're talking about.
Well, and if you want to get into, some people, it's religion, like God has a plan, blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
so they're there for a very particular purposeful reason. If you don't believe in that, then it's just totally random.
I really had something good to say. I don't remember.
Well, we'll get you back there.
No, probably not. I probably forgot it all.
But, really, I mean, like, it is funny. Nature, God, whatever it is, does or our own brain and recognizing patterns that we don't recognize. Things do tend to, at some point, lock into place where the building blocks are there for you.
Yeah.
And you just have to reach out and grab them. It's for us, right? Doing a podcast, like, there's a lot of times where your own self-doubt can get in your way.
Yeah.
And you maybe wouldn't, like, we've had an opportunity now to reach out to somebody and maybe collaborate a little bit.
Yeah.
And some stuff. And, like,
which would be cool.
We're going to do that, where there's this little part of you that's, like, afraid to put yourself out there in any real way, because it's like, well, what if you reject it, or what if you're not good enough?
That is still a fear
of you can really pull you back. And it's so pointless, because honestly, so what? If you're an idiot and they never want to talk to you again, like,
I know,
so
it's
what?
so funny, how right?
We come back and we record our own thing. Like, I'm getting a lot better at letting those issues go, those concerns, because it's like, at the end of the day, like, when you talk enough, like, I talk at work all the time.
Yeah,
I present to people at times. Like, there's a point where it's like, yeah, you might still get nervous, but it's like normal nervous, not like in your head, like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Nervous, right? And like,
I know you, like, I don't talk a lot. Like, I'm on the podcast, I'll talk a lot, but outside of that, I don't really talk. Like, I mean, I talk to my team, but I don't, like, teach, obviously, so I don't have to do that. But I get that nervous feeling, like, oh shit.
I still do sometimes.
But yeah, I think I've gotten past that point where if someone doesn't like me, I'm like, man, whatever.
Fuck you then.
That's one of the things, like, for me, with, I guess, part of the people come in your lives, like, I've had people come in and out of my life, and I don't know. I just never, I think I used to take it as a negative thing. Like, so I would, like, build a wall. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no point in getting close to this person.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Right.
They're just leaving anyway.
And I'm going to get hurt. And
I don't want to get close to someone, and then what's the point? Right. So I got really good at cutting people out. Mm-hmm. And to this day, I'm still really good at that. Like, I can cut. If someone doesn't want to be in my life, like, fine. That there's a switch I have where I can just, okay, whatever.
Right.
Like, because I'm not going to dwell on it anymore.
And that's the self-preservation. I mean, like really.
You know what? You don't want nothing to do with me. I don't want nothing to do with you.
Like, right.
I don't need that negative. Mm-hmm. I don't need that in my life.
Right. Right. And you do have to be careful with that, because where it isn't helpful for people is when they won't let anybody in at all, because they just know that person preemptively is going to be bad to them and hurt them.
And I think I've been that before, where I'm just like, nah, whatever. Sure. I'm not going to let this person.
Right.
So I'll be short with people, or I'll just be quiet with them, or just, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I had some roommates, they're great people, my buddy Anthony and stuff, but, like, after we stopped being roommates, I don't really talk to them anymore.
Well, see, and
my buddy Anthony actually wants to come on the show.
That is kind of how I am. Like, I appreciate and would love to hang out with all the friends that I've had along the way, but I am kind of a phase of life person. I'm not great at keeping in touch with people.
No.
And that's probably fairly common. I mean, how many times do you work with people and you're close when you're working with them, and then you move on, and over time it's just like,
it's whatever.
You recognize each other, and it's nice to see them if you run into them, but it's just that time passed, sort of. I have a lot of college friends that, to this day, I really appreciate them and like who they are and would love to hang out, but we just don't.
Yeah. Like, I don't think I'm friends with anybody that I went to high school with.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any of those friends from high school.
Mm-hmm. Right? My childhood friend Levi, I'm still close with.
Yeah, he was cool.
But we don't talk all that much either. Neither one of us are that great. So we, a couple times a year get together, and we live in the same town,
which is cool.
But yeah,
and he's a cool guy. I met him.
Yeah, he is.
But yeah, I don't talk to anybody from high school,
Right.
which is crazy to think because we're Facebook friends though. Shout out.
That matters.
Yeah. But I don't know. I had a better point about why people come in your lives, but
we'll keep
my
thinking about
idiotic thought. This is where it sucks. Like I suck at talking, so this is where my sucky talking comes in.
See that negativity you're doing right now?
Yeah. That's where this comes in.
Now you're going to be a sucky talker, Jesse.
Yeah, my talking skills are like all over, and I talk like I'm pausing, which I've always said. I sound like I'm pausing. I'm like,
One thing to realize though, we are our own worst
drugs are a hell of a drug.
Drugs are a hell of a drug.
See,
that's what makes home. Yeah, that's our local commercial. But I know Brian wants to come back on. He's excited to come back on at some point. So we'll have Brian on because he's going through stuff right now that is
he was doing some things
tough.
when we were talking.
So it'll be nice to catch up with him and find out what's going on.
It's a good show to vent on.
Yeah.
Sometimes and just get it out there and help others.
Hearing enough people that have struggled or are, feeling good or not feeling good and going through things, maybe it can help somebody, hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, like I still struggle with a lot of shit, obviously.
We all do. I mean, you're never going to be
obviously
perfect.
I'm talking about it now. So
yeah. It's always like
it's there.
Right. We're always growing and building and learning and changing.
Yeah.
Hopefully for the better.
Yeah, I think that's where it's like, if you're not where you think you should be, don't beat yourself up.
No.
You know what I mean? And I do that all the time.
Right.
Like I'm bad at it.
You can't take control of it. I mean, that's the thing. But like we said, you got to find ways to break it down into manageable steps.
Yeah.
If you know that you need to eat better, but you can't, like, just choose one thing that you're not going to eat.
Yeah, just make it small, little goals.
The tiniest goals that you can reach, and then see if you can grow from there.
Well, even that, just to make that the habit,
right?
I'm not going to do coffee on Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can do that. I'm going to not do coffee these 2 days.
Right. Yeah, I mean, everything is manageable if you allow yourself some success in it.
Yeah,
but it's at what point can you get success? Because I know there was a point I felt like, nope. I had no mental fortitude for anything.
Right.
But I built it. And that's, again, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
If Tom can do it, he can.
Anybody can do it.
But you were going to bring up a movie?
Yeah. So a movie I was going to talk about last week and I forgot about. But it was a great movie and it really made me think about something I already knew, but I did a really good job in a comedic way of showing just how ridiculous some of our ways of going about life are. Mm-hmm. The movie's called Jexi, and it's all about this guy that gets a new cell phone that has AI interface and
like Alexa,
Alexa or whatever. But this one's very personalized and pretty much like a crazy ex-girlfriend kind of attitude. But the beginning of this movie, I won't talk a lot about the movie because I think you just need to watch it. It's great.
I'll have to check it out.
I forget. It's on a streaming platform. I don't remember if it was Hulu or Netflix or what, but just Jexi, look it up. At the beginning, though, when they're doing sort of the lead into the movie where the music's playing and they show different scenes and whatever, it shows him growing up through his life. Mm-hmm. And there's a scene where it opens on a dinner and the mom and dad are just sitting at the table and he's sitting in the middle and he starts grabbing his mom's arm and he's like, Mom. And he's like, young.
Yeah.
And his dad just says, just give him the phone. She's like, give him the phone. He's like, yeah, just give it to him. And at that moment, it doesn't even seem like he's going to ask for the phone. It's just he wants to talk to his mom while the mom and dad are talking. So dad's like, just give him the phone. So he shuts up.
Yeah.
So she gives him the phone. And it's like the first time he just started playing on the phone. And then the intro to the movie progresses with him getting older and older and older. Mom and dad are fighting. And they just give him the phone so that he's not paying attention to their fighting. And then as an adult, he's just on the phone. And I'm like looking at that and it's like not something you don't know. Not something that isn't obvious to us already, but it really just laid out in this visual, visceral form, how absurd our connection to cell phones really are.
Well, even so, that even just shows, and I haven't seen this movie, but mentally, like how you're going to handle something, you're going to bury yourself in your phone.
Which we do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you see that, like, my kids are phone people.
Mm-hmm. So we all are. I mean, and phones are great. Don't get me wrong.
Like we do have a rule: no phones at the table when we eat dinner. That's no electronics at the table.
Right.
Which we enforce.
Mm-hmm.
So if a call comes through, sorry, like maybe afterwards or
Right.
excuse yourself or something, but not at the table.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, we don't have like a
right. We don't
time, which we should, but it's so.
Yeah, I'm talking shit about phones.
I'm on mine all the time.
I am too. Last night I was keeping myself. I'm fasting, so I was keeping myself busy. So I kept googling fasting shit just to try to not.
Yeah, I play a video game on my phone.
You know, like
shout out to my MCOC people.
You know, it's like they're an important part of life, and they're there whether we like it or not. But I'm just like looking at these images of this kid just getting like looked over.
Well, it makes me think about. I've done that as a parent.
I have too. We all have.
Here's your phone.
Like, here you go. I'm busy with this, so here.
Yeah.
But it just is like you see this kid and he's like just trying to talk to his mom, but the dad and mom are in the middle of a conversation. They don't want to be bothered. So it's like, just give him the phone.
Yeah.
And it's like this total dismissal of this kid. And so he's just sitting there by himself, not getting what he actually was trying to ask or met.
Yeah, which is sad.
It is sad.
I feel like I've done that to my own daughter, Elena.
That we have,
and now she's always on the phone.
But we're rewiring our kids' brains too. I mean, it's like they've done a lot of research, and it's not good what's happening to kids with cell phone use. But
yeah, my daughter just came upstairs yesterday, and she's on the phone. She's So when we eat dinner together, that's when we do the no cell phone. But if we're like, they're
just normal part,
just normal day. Like she was eating some soup and she was just at the table while we were watching something, and she's just on her phone.
Yeah,
and I'm like, gosh, because she's kind of a loner,
right?
And so I don't want her to get more deeper into that phone and like have these relationships with phone. I don't know who on the on her little chat groups or whatever she's in.
Right.
And as a parent, I always wonder what they talk about. I don't know if it's just being a overly worried parent, but I always wonder what these conversations are. What are these things?
There's a lot of crap that can happen on the internet. So,
because I'm like,
we've taken the computer out of her room and some things, and I honestly don't know that we'll ever put it back. I just am like, the more I think about it, and like,
but
she's only 13. Like,
well, she has all the access anyway. Like, we took away her phone, but then she had her laptop for school,
right? But it's like she also
what she could ask to go. Yeah, just still, there's another chat thing she has where she can talk to her friends.
Everything out. Yeah, I mean, because at one point she got in a little trouble, and not anything horrible, but just stuff, and and so that was the consequence. But I'm looking at it and like, it's honestly better for her. Like, she wasn't sleeping right. There was a lot of things that she wasn't doing right because she's 13.
No, she her sleeping was terrible.
So it's like, I don't know that we will put it back. I think we're going to continue to have limits for like, okay, after this point, no more. But it is a part of kids' social life now. Yeah, you got to accept. You got to accept it. Of like, as long as you're talking to kids that we can validate, like not 50-year-old men.
Yeah,
like. I get that that's a part of life today, and she is connecting with people, and that's a good thing. But I mean, it's just like the other side of it. It's got to be balanced out with other real life, tangible things.
Well, yeah, it's different to communicate with someone over a phone than in person.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Right. Kids are really enjoying the easy way out, where
because socially, you're not going to be a social person.
No.
In life, if you're stuck on your phone talking to people. Like I'm in the customer service industry. That's what I've done my whole life pretty much. And so I got to talk to people, and I'm, like I said, I don't like talking. I'm not much of a talker.
Right.
But it's like one of those things you got to learn to do. And so that's where I think sometimes those phones and shit can just really have a negative impact socially on kids, because now they're just these loners, which it's not bad to be a loner. I'm a loner, but
to a point. When you start to feel ostracized or something, like some people start to take that feeling of loneliness personally and feel like they're not welcome with other people.
See, and that's what I worry about with my own daughter, with Elena. I worry about that because she will go off into her room by herself. Like when there was everyone at the house, I'm like, "No, come over here.
Right.
You're gonna help me make this mac and cheese." I had her help me grade just so she's not on her phone, because she could have. Because I don't want that. That's what I think is the negative. How are you going to take this loneliness?
Well, and some people are super social.
loneliness.
They want to be surrounded by people all the time, and they get energized by people. I am not one of those people. I like to be around people to a point.
I'm in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, like I enjoy it. I'm not happy if I'm never around people, but I also can get overwhelmed and like tired out, and like now I need to just go be in a quiet place by myself.
Well,
but to do it one way or the other all the time, most of us, like there's kind of a balance there too.
No, I'm that same way because like what was it, Thanksgiving? I disappeared. And every time I disappear, they think I'm taking a shit. Right. And it's not that I go to the bathroom, but I'm just in there
for a bit.
Because it just needs to be quiet for me.
It's like desensitizing a little bit. We get
like, okay, there's just too much energy going around. I need to chill out,
right,
for a second because I'm gonna lose my shit. I just like start getting tense, and so I'm like, okay,
yep.
Because I'm that person where I could be alone, for, like for a bit, obviously.
Right.
But I like to be around people as well. I like to interact. With people. I don't like being in like talking in front of groups, but I'll, individually and stuff. I'm really good with that.
Right.
But I don't know. I can be alone though and just do my thing, go in my garage, and
I hear you.
I can be in there hours.
I need an amount of time of,
you know what I mean? I could be doing stuff hours. If I let it go by, I could be just doing random things by myself for the whole day.
Right.
But I gotta be like thinking about my family and kids and stuff.
See, I struggle with that too, because Blanca does not really like to be. I mean, she likes to be alone at some point, but she likes me to be with her.
Yeah.
She doesn't like a lot of other people around a lot, but she does want me with her quite a bit. And I do love to be around her, but I'm definitely not to the level that she is, and that causes tension a lot of times because same type of thing. If I'm not careful, I'll go off and do stuff kind of alone, and I don't want to be alone. But it is a tricky balancing act, and that's probably a part of my life I really do need to work on. And
you've gotten better though.
I have, and I mean things are good. It's
you're not like hanging out as much, and you're like chilling stuff.
And I want her to know like that she is a priority for me. And but it's just interesting, because I don't think of myself as like someone that likes being alone that much, but I do sometimes like to be alone and just
I do
time.
I do. Like I know that show Alone I would suck at for the fact
it's extreme, right?
Well, no, it sucked for the fact that I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
For one, the alone aspect, I think there's a portion of me where I could probably pull off for a minute being alone before it's like, okay, I kind of miss, like I would miss my kids. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah. No, I know.
But that being alone with myself, I think I can handle that probably pretty well.
Yeah. I think
being in alone in my thoughts, because I'm already always there anyway.
Right.
So it's like,
yeah,
we're just here. We are. Let's find something to do. As long as I have something to do, I don't know. I'd miss my family, but I don't think I wouldn't tap out because I was without
alone.
it. Yeah, because in my head, I'm like, I'm trying to win fucking money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know how long I'd make it.
I just don't know how
I'd win the show.
There's no way I'd win the show. I don't know what I'm doing.
A few days, like at this point, I'm pretty confident that for a couple days I could do just fine alone in the woods.
Yeah.
Like up to 4 days I would give myself.
I think beyond that, I think I could do that.
I don't think there'd be a point for me personally, but if I were, because I've been like researching fasting a lot, and like up to 4 days is like considered a safe fast for many people, not all.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that would be a scenario where I could go out, really dedicate myself to like internal reflection or whatever.
Yeah.
Let myself be hungry and like see what I can get out of the experience, That's
what I would do, is just what can I get out?
Right.
But I don't see myself even qualifying for the show.
Oh, I would never be able to do it on the show. I just have to like drive myself out.
Like even if I wanted to, I don't think I'd qualify. Like
they would be like, show me
how much survival do you have? Not much, really.
My friend
and I
went hiking once for 30 miles.
I always just bring that up. Always 32-mile hike.
Yeah, we had to set up our own tents and brought a backpack full of food. Do you know how to forage? I foraged those candy bars pretty hot.
I know. I ate some questionable berries once.
Yeah.
See, I would die probably because of that. Because I wouldn't know what food to pick.
I don't know any survival stuff.
Mushrooms are out of the question because I don't know what mushrooms are good.
Right.
So I wouldn't eat those.
No.
They'd be like, little does he know he has the healthiest mushrooms around him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's literally surrounded by food. Everywhere he looks,
And
everywhere
it's
he steps,
and it's
is
not
food.
poisonous. I'd still probably die because I wouldn't know. I don't know that.
I'm not trusting this.
I don't know how to hunt.
I know.
I go hunting. You and I go hunting. I want to go because I want to learn.
Right.
But I don't know what's going to happen the day I do get I'm going to probably so bad at cutting up the deer or fucking turkey or something. I think a turkey I can do. A deer would be a little tougher.
Yeah, but I mean, the turkey's got all the feathers and stuff. I guess
you
you can
boil them.
get under. Oh, yeah.
You just boil it or hot water or something to get the feathers off.
Oh,
that's what I saw.
There you go.
But the gutting, I would no. I see him. Do you ever see him when they get the fur off the rabbit? They just turn that bitch inside out.
Well, yeah, because it's like that layer, right?
This makes me think: is this human? Is that how we are? We can skin ourselves backwards. That's so gross.
Gross.
Our fur gone.
I don't want to think about it.
That is gross. I don't know. I don't got nothing else.
I don't either.
And the thought I did have fucking left me in the quickest
think
blink
about it.
of an
We'll
eye.
bring it back up.
I was going to bring it up last week. Why are we all alone? Why do people come in our lives? I don't even fucking know.
But I'm alone. Yeah.
Well, I had a whole thing in that instant.
If you are alone this time of year, look for some people around you.
Yeah.
There's got to be somebody that you can talk to. And
why do people come in your life?
You know, they're there for a reason, good or bad.
Enjoy it. Why? That's kind of the point about why people come in your lives.
Yeah.
They come in your life. You learn from them. You move on.
Yeah.
You know, try not to think of it as a negative thing when they leave. And that's kind of where I was at. I used to think negatively that this person, so I wouldn't allow it to get close. But and I'm still that way to a point, but I'm a little better now. Mm-hmm. Like I was a little not upset that Buck and them left, but like when I found out, I was sad. I was genuinely sad because I was like pretty close to these people. Mm-hmm. And then, all of a sudden they're like leaving. And I'm like, it just reiterated. Well, this is the point. This is why I don't like allowing people in my life.
Right.
Because
that did suck, though. We just started to get close to them, too.
That sucked. I'm not going to lie.
We started to get close to them. They're like, we're moving. Oh.
Yeah. It did suck. All the family. We were all really close. It was cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool. We still stay in touch with them.
They're good people.
They are very good people.
And, you know,
Shout out.
But you can still have relationships with these people. Just because they're not here doesn't mean that you.
And that's the thing.
And so, yeah.
I still text Bucket here and there, and we've gone to their house in Utah and stuff. So,
see,
make it work out.
Think about the positive.
Yeah. All right, people.
Cool. Well, it's been a good one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you're having a great holiday season.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time on Just Weirdly Blended.
Where home is home.